Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kaykov Podcast. We have our co-host, Mr. Boris.
Hey.
We have Steve Jagudev here with us today. Let's do our annual, our tradition
Yes.
that we usually do,
Sign us a wish of good luck. We're planning to buy a building,
or
Hopefully
two, or
order the-
three.
or hopefully order the doors from you. I know you're coming to New York with your big company, which we'll speak about in a few seconds.
Definitely.
Very excited. While he's doing that, I'm very excited to have you on the show because you have one interesting aspect of your business, and I wanted to get that out into the public because everybody wants to be a developer today. But you don't need to be a developer. You could catch one specific market in the construction or developing business
And supply them all.
and supply them all. So, Steve, we're very excited to have you because you're one of the OGs in Arizona into a specific business that you take care of. So, hopefully,
you.
the younger generation who have dreams to be in the developing aspect of the beautiful real estate market. So, we're gonna dissect you kind of.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Beautiful. Okay. So, Steve, usually the way we start is that we love to find out how you got into the business, but where you coming from, and how you ended up moving to Arizona. So, if you could just give us a little bit of your name, what's the name of your company, and then when you came here, how you ended up migrating to Arizona, and then we take it from there.
Okay. So my name is Steve Jagudev. I'm the owner of Iron Doors, Arizona. I came to United States in 1994. So
Okay.
I was 14 years old. And after 2 years, we decided to move to Arizona, which at that time, my family, my grandma actually went with my sister to Arizona.
So this was when the whole trend of the Baharian community going to visit Arizona, checking it out to see if
Yes.
it's for them or not. A lot of families, I believe it was like about 60 or 70 families at that time moved there, or am I wrong?
So when I moved to Arizona in 1996, there was about 10 Bukharian families there.
Already existing there.
Yes.
Okay.
So some of them actually moved straight from Russia straight there.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them started immigrating from New York. And
What would you say the community now is? A heavy presence of the Baharian community?
it's actually number 2 in United States,
Really?
the Bukharian community.
After New York.
Wow.
After New York, yes.
Of course.
Got it. Wow.
Yeah, so, and Arizona is growing, so it's not for everybody, okay? So a lot of people actually start moving there because of the weather, because the weather is very similar like in Uzbekistan,
Okay.
very dry heat.
Mhm.
And they don't have 4 seasons like,
New York.
Yeah, like New York or Uzbekistan
That's
had,
true.
but it's a dry heat, so that's the reason why a lot of Bukharians start moving there. And at that time, obviously, I had no choice. My grandma went with my sister, and they loved it. And then she came back, and she's
We are moving.
we are moving. So, and then we moved after like 3-4 months.
Wow.
And so ever since then, I lived in Arizona. And about 6 months ago, actually, in May, we decided to move back to New York.
After moving from Uzbekistan to New York?
No, we moved to Arizona, and I've been in Arizona since '96.
Correct.
Wow.
And now we actually decided in May of 2025.
Oh, recently. Okay.
Recently, we moved back to New York.
Oh, so you're going to be here now.
Yes.
Nice.
So I kind of travel back and forth because of my business. But hopefully by next year, we're going to be expanding in New York as well.
You're going too fast for us. So at 14, you
Mhm.
moved out there. Obviously, you're still in high school.
Yes.
And
I went to Forest Hills High School in '94. And in '96, we moved to Arizona.
so you already graduated. You're out of high school.
No, I graduated in Arizona, actually.
Okay.
In
Which school?
In '98. I graduated Washington High School.
Did
Okay.
you go to college?
I went to college for a little bit, for about 5-6 months, and after that, I just seen that the school is not for me,
Okay.
and I dropped out.
Nice.
What was the next step?
So the next step, I actually went through a lot of different work. My first job actually was in New York. I was working in the city, giving out flyers, and my aunt was working for one salon. And she said they really need, somebody to hand out flyers because to pick up the business. And I was working for $20 a day.
Nice.
$3 I was spending for the subway, and $3 I was spending for lunch. So I was actually bringing home $14. That's about 10 or 11 hours. I used to, obviously, was taking 2 hours just for transportation and 8 hours work, so about 10 hours.
That's when you were 15 years old, let's say.
Yes, yes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you were out of high school. You did about 4 or 5 months in college in Arizona. What was the next step? What was the next job? Did you? I
always worked. During school, even I worked at the Burger King, and I worked at the Sonic fast food place, which I was the first employee in 1997. When they opened first Sonic fast food restaurant, I was actually cooking in the kitchen.
Wow.
So you're a side chef also. You're a
Yeah, yes, just all I could do,
Flipping burgers.
flipping burgers.
When did this idea come of? Did you get into any type of construction after that? Before you came up with the brilliant idea of having the business where you're supplying doors? We're going to get into that shortly. But any experience in construction?
So prior to that, actually, I've been in a lot of different businesses before.
Okay, so what did you own? Just a quick rundown.
So after that, I actually got involved in sales.
Okay.
And honestly, I believe every person as a teenager, they should start with sales.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, anything in life you do requires sales.
Yes.
I actually, when I was working at the Burger King, I was making $4.25 an hour.
Crazy.
So, and a lot of my friends, they got involved in telemarketing, selling credit cards and balance transfers, and they were making crazy money. So, and I asked one of my friends, I'm like, can you get me the job there? And so I went for the interview, and the lady interviewed me, and she tells my friend, I don't know how people are going to understand him. He has a very thick accent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, please,
Give me a
ask
try.
her to give me a try, And so he convinced her. And after 3 weeks, I was number one out of 300 people.
Nice. The funny thing is that she told him they won't be able to understand his accent, but for 35 years later, everybody who you speak to over the phone has an Indian or
Exactly. Accent.
So, but what happened, the advantage was with the accent, people actually, they will
pay
listen.
attention.
They pay
They will
attention.
relate more.
They will listen to you,
Yes.
So, and that's how I started the career in sales. And then I started working for different, telemarketing companies and stuff, and I made some great money.
But telemarketing back in the days, like cash advance right now, I think, no? Back
Yeah,
in the day,
people-
telemarketing was
People
huge.
were more, I feel like the difference between now and then, people were more trustworthy. So when somebody called over the phone, I remember also with telemarketing, when we were younger, a company called us and said, listen, you qualified for a free computer. All you need to do is just drive down to here, spend 2 hours at this, and you will get a computer for $100. And everybody, and my parents like, listen, we're going to get a computer that's $3,000 for $200. All we need to do. So I feel like people were more trustworthy when it came down selling anything over the phone. And also it was very popular at that time where you had the home shopping networks where people bought stuff off the TV for local small brands. So now it's more considered to be a scam. But back in those days, people were more trustworthy, especially in Arizona.
Depends. Listen, like the Wolf of Wall Street, you know what I mean? He also had his own little situation that he was
But
doing.
he did it, right?
He did it.
Also, at that time, people wanted to invest money and become richer. And
Of course.
And
I actually had a very similar company, a telemarketing company that I started, and I had 90 people on the phones. That's not something that I loved doing, but that's the only thing that I knew how to do.
yeah, okay.
So after the telemarketing industry, the laws changed. So I actually opened my first company was an air duct company.
An
Actually,
air duct company.
yes.
Okay.
And actually, Boris was printing everything for me for all my businesses.
It was a
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
company.
How old were you at this time?
So I opened an air duct company. It was in 2013.
How did you come up with this idea out of nowhere, out of the you closed it or you sold it? The marketing company.
No, I closed it. I
Closed it.
basically, yeah.
So what? Out of thin air, you just
No, actually, I was on vacation with my buddy, and so we were just talking. He's like, "What do you do right now?" I'm like, "I don't know what to do." And he's like, "You know what? In Arizona, it's really hot. I think the, air duct, will be working great there, and cleaning the carpets and stuff. So, and I looked into it. I was like, wow. I was like,
Makes sense.
because everybody using AC, whether it's
Yeah.
in the summertime AC, in the wintertime, they use heat. So, and then I did the research, and I was like, wow, it is. So I kind of went to Las Vegas, where they sell the equipment, took the class there for like 3-4 days. And then I decided to open an air duct company, and I was going to also do the carpet cleaning, but then I kind of did the research. People who clean the carpet and clean the air duct, they're not really doing the right way, because they actually, they go as far as the arm goes. In order to clean the air ducts the proper way, you have to have a special equipment that kind of with the hose that goes all the way deep inside the ducts. So this way you get all the dust.
Got it.
And
So you found the niche of how to do it the right
yes.
way.
Yes.
Okay.
So what happened after that is that I kind of, after 6 months of doing the air duct, because the money was not the same as a telemarketing, because in telemarketing I was dealing with a bigger money,
Yeah.
and the air duct was $400-500, a duct cleaning job. And then I, after 6 months, I get one of my buddy, actually one of my he was my buddy for telemarketing. He used to work for me, and he brought another guy in, and who they convinced me to get into the construction company with them. So at that time, I have no idea about construction. Okay, I never been in construction, but that guy didn't have the money to start, and so he convinced me to to get into the construction.
You were
So-
the sponsor, basically. You sponsored his idea.
Yes. So I basically kind of got into the construction without picking up my air duct all the way, and kind of got sidetracked. Okay. And actually, within first 3-4 months, I got into Bed Bath and Beyond with my air duct company.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a big contract.
Yeah, it wasn't all the stores, but one of the stores that we did it, and they were like amazed. They're like, we did it in 1 week, which I had about 11 guys on the job. And and then they call me. They're like, you know what, Stevie? Like, we have another company in California who were doing the same job what you were doing. It took them a month and a half to do, but obviously they didn't have as many people. So they're like, can you please, come to California to clean the air ducts? So I kind of, I was like, going to California with the guy. So I said, okay, that's fine. She's like, we're gonna pay you whatever you ask. So I'm like, okay. So I took 3 guys with me to
You
California.
actually went.
I went,
What?
and I hired 10 guys over there, because I didn't really need them have experience to clean the ducts, but I need them to have experience to use a scissor lift. Okay. And the scissor lift, the first time I got on it, it's 30 feet in the air, it's shaking, so it's not
So
you
you
have.
were hands-on with the company. You were actually
Yes,
working and
I did everything. I went through a lot of sleepless nights. After the commercial jobs I was doing with the guys, to make sure that special Bed Bath and Beyond.
yeah, it's a big
it's
contract.
it's like very narrow, where you go into the between aisles, and because 1 inch to the left, the whole aisle, the whole shelf is gonna come down on you. So
Plus, their ceilings are usually high. What are they, like 25 feet?
yeah, about 30 feet.
30 feet?
Yeah, so we were doing high dusting from the ducts, and like because they had a lot of dust and stuff. So long story short, I went to California, hired 10 guys, of the Craigslist that knew how to do that knew how to use the scissor lift. And after 1 week, I was finished with the job, and I came back. And so I started a construction company with this guy who knew construction, but he didn't know how to manage the guys.
Got it.
He was like, yelling at the guys,
Yeah.
you have to have respect. When you have employees, you can't just yell at them, You want to always treat people the way you want it to be treated.
Yes.
That's why in my experience, that I had all these years, different companies that I own, I could call my guys at 10 o'clock at nighttime and tell them I need your help. They'll come. That's kind of respect that they have.
What did you do to gain that respect?
Because you know what happened is that I never scared to get dirty. I get on the same level with them. They need help, I go clean with them. I'll mop whatever the company needs, I will do, and they look at you completely different.
100%.
When you're hands on.
Each as well as me, any business that, and I'm sure it's with you as well, any aspect of the business, the owner of the business should know how to replace
Absolutely.
every employee.
I agree.
So
Nobody scares me in the office.
and the same thing with me. I could do any part of my business. I could be hands on, and I think when men or your employees see that, I don't think they get scared, but they know that they could be replaceable. When one of your employees grabs you by the neck because they know that you're not able to replace them, that's when they're gonna have the advantage.
Of
So
course.
as a great businessman, it's definitely and to our viewers, in any business that you get into, and you have here a man who's been through multiple businesses, you need to have the experience first.
Of course. You
Anything
need to educate yourself, of course.
But educating yourself through the computer and doing research shouldn't be the only thing as
Hands
far
on.
as you go.
Agree.
You should experience every aspect of your business to know how to treat the men that are in that position and to let them know that you're able to replace them at any given time.
Agreed.
And I think that's one of the things that made him successful at what he does now.
Yep. I forgot to tell you prior to that, actually, at 19 years old, I got, start having problems with my stomach, and I got diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. I was one of the first, actually, Bahrain Jewish kids who got diagnosed with this, and I was struggling for a couple of years on different medications and stuff.
Wow, you
And
had the air docking business.
no, that was
before.
That was before. Yeah, that was prior to that.
That was a heavy hit for you, no?
It was a very heavy hit. I didn't know whether I'm going to live or not, and
What is that severe?
It's pretty severe.
yeah, I was on I was on medication like 50, 60 pills a day
Holy.
for like 2 years. And I was very depressed, feeling down and stuff. And in 2001, my doctor says, you know what? We got to operate you. If we're not going to operate you, then it could cause a cancer and then you could potentially die. So in 2001, I went into surgery. My surgery lasted for 15 hours.
Holy.
It was very complicated surgery, and I was in the hospital for 3 months.
In the hospital,
In the hospital.
with physical therapy, they're doing all of these things there.
I was in ICU for close to a month.
What?
It was
Why?
very,
Is because something went wrong in the surgery, or this is the procedure after a surgery like this?
no, actually, at that time, they maybe didn't have that kind of technology like they do right now. And plus, it was also complicated. I had to start, have internal bleeding and stuff.
This was like 25 years ago.
That was,
approximately.
yes. Yeah, 25 years ago. And honestly, at that time, I didn't want to live. I was, I was depressed, but I was keep pushing myself, I'm one of those guys that I don't give up.
Yeah.
And, and at that time, I was just very feeling down, and I was in the hospital. I couldn't really walk at that time. And then, that's the actual one time in my life where I took about, I don't know, 6-7 months off work.
To
Otherwise,
reset yourself.
I've been working since I was, since I was 12 years old from Russia. I was helping my dad. I always liked working. I never liked asking my parents for any money. I always wanted to, make my own money.
Yeah.
So, and after that time, it was very difficult for me to come back, but I overcame everything, and I just moved forward. I never give up. That's the one thing I always tell people, don't ever give up, especially in this country.
100%.
The land of opportunities.
Yes.
I tell everybody, if you can make it in the United States, you're not going to make it anywhere in
anywhere.
the world, because
Yeah.
I traveled to so many different countries. And
Yeah,
a
we
lot
were
of
just speaking about that before the podcast. Thailand, Philippines, China.
Oh, some countries, people make $5-6 a day.
Till at this time in 2025,
Yes.
that's crazy.
That's insane.
How far you took the docking company? Now you got the contract with Bath and Beyond. You did
Yeah. So at that time, when then I opened a construction company, like
at the
I told.
same time.
About after 6-7 months
Okay.
of doing the air duct company, then I got into the construction. I got into construction with this guy who didn't know how to manage, because I was always in sales, so I always knew how to,
Present yourself.
get the work, But doing the work, I was not I didn't know construction.
Yeah.
So slowly I started learning.
Now, what kind of construction was this? Developing, or was this like general contracting where you get hired for?
So just tenant improvements, okay? A lot of commercial, residential, redoing the kitchens,
Yeah.
doing, bathrooms, tile.
So you threw in the money. You invested the money, and you backed off, or you invested the money and you were hands on with your partner?
No, so what happened at that time with this guy, I couldn't really work together, and I kind of separated with him because I wasn't making the money with him. I was actually losing because he wasn't managing the guys properly. The work wasn't getting done properly, so we were actually redoing a lot of times work. And when you redo work,
You lose
You
money.
lose. So, and then I got involved with another guy who knew construction, and I was, I was on the job site every day. I was learning.
Yeah.
Okay. And after 2 years being in construction, I lost over 300 grand. Okay. And so one of my partners, he convinced me to install iron doors for another company that located out of state.
Oh, so you were a subcontractor. So
Yes.
say if I'm in New York, I bought doors from California, but I needed a company like you to come and install it. So I would give the door, order the door,
Correct.
have them install it, but that company would hire somebody else in New York to install it.
Correct.
Got it.
So what happened, he convinced me, I'm like, there is no money in installation. So he convinced me to start installing the doors. So I said, okay, let's try it. So our first job, it was a humongous door that was supposed to be made in, now I know, because I'm in a door business, it's supposed to be made in different pieces. They actually made a special crate for this door to bring it from Utah to Arizona, where you have to, 10 guys wouldn't even pick up the door. So, and he gave a price, to install the door. We actually needed a forklift for that door to be
So
installed.
don't tell me you lost money on this.
I did lose money. So we charged like $3,500 to install. It cost us over $6,000.
Wow.
The
And I'm
forklift itself would probably cost you $3,000.
Yeah,
Listen,
he actually bought the forklift at that time,
Every great investor learns through his pocket.
Of course.
Or
That's the only way.
every
But
entrepreneur.
the beauty is, let me ask you a question. Sometimes you can take a job, and if the price is not right, you tell them, what, screw it, I'm not doing this job, and you lose the client, you lose the relationship. You didn't have that. You went forward. You did it.
No, whenever you, I'm the type of person that if I sign a contract or if I tell you,
You gotta do it.
I have to do it, even if I
Respect,
lose money.
respect.
Even if I lose money until this day.
Correct.
Even if I lose money on the job, this is the price that
It's
I gave.
important.
You have to keep your word.
Absolutely, I agree. A word is an honorable thing to do.
Yes.
I agree.
And after that, so we started installing doors, and I told him, I said, there is no money in installation, but I seen the, like how, what kind of difference those doors make, they make the house completely look different, like make the house look like $1 million home.
Yeah.
Okay. And after a short while, I said, you know what? I said, there's no money in the install, but there's money in the doors. And plus, it makes such a big difference the way the houses look. So at that time, I decided to actually, get into the business. And I start buying doors, from another company from California. And the way he was making the doors, and I told him, let's make, a few adjustments. He didn't want to do that. I said, you know what? In order for me to actually go to the next level, I have to be, I have to either manufacture them or get them from manufacturer to be a first hand.
Yeah.
So, and then I decided to get into the business. And I remember, I was installing like one door every 2-3 weeks. And I was in a small shop, and there was opportunity came up where, there was a 10,000 square feet warehouse with a big lot size. So I remember, I told my wife, I said, let's look into that. She's like, what are you doing? You're installing one door every 2-3 weeks, I said, it's okay, we're going to have the business. So at that time, I didn't have a good credit because in 2008, I lost everything.
So we lost, meaning everything, what, the docking company, because you were busy trying to...
No, I lost my houses and stuff in 2008.
Oh, when the crash happened,
When the crash happened, I literally
A
lost.
lot of New Yorkers who invested heavily in Arizona.
Oh, of course, yes.
Everybody bought 2-3 houses right away because you could take $100,000 and invest 20 into each house, and
Correct.
And then the big crash happened. I remember that.
Yes, and at that time, actually, I got married. And at that time, also, I lost my dad. So it was everything
At once, yeah.
once, Even at that point, I still didn't give up. I was always moving forward. And then after that, I start, seeing, about the warehouse. Let's
Okay.
get to that, right? And I didn't have, it was, one job every 2-3 weeks, and so my wife had a good credit. So, and the owner knew, I said, we were legally married, but we were married through a Jewish way.
Yeah, yeah.
The
With the
landlord
kippah.
was Jewish. He's like, listen, you have to have your wife sign for this in order for you to get this building. So I convinced my wife to sign,
She believed in you.
she believed in me. And after that, we start doing, 20 installs, 25 installs a week.
Let me ask you before we jump in that far. So the purpose of this warehouse. First of all, let's get back to what happened to all the other businesses. The air docking company. Before we get to the juicy stuff, the air docking
Okay,
company.
so the duct cleaning, I actually had that company for a while. I recently sold that company about 3 months ago.
You still had it, so that
Yes.
was a successful business. Somebody else
That
ran
was
it, a
not
partner.
really a
What?
successful business for me. I wasn't making money. It was just at flow. It was
Okay.
just paying for itself. And during that time, actually, when I got involved in construction, when I was in construction, so one of the customers calls me. They're like, "Hey, I would like to get an asphalt done for my
Sidewalk?
bar."
My bar.
And so what I start doing, I start looking for different companies, as to sub out the job, and everybody was giving me high pricing and stuff. And then I found a guy to do an asphalt for me, and I made $12,000 in one day without even doing the job.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm in the wrong business.
Well,
that was before. That was actually before the. It was during the same time when I opened the doors.
Just
where
opened.
Yes, when I just opened. So, and I had a construction company at that time, but I was just kind of weaning down, shutting down the construction. But then I seen what kind of money was on asphalt. So what I decided to do is, I had the license as a general contracting license, and the guy knew how to do asphalt. So, and I seen the money. So I built a website right away, and I started advertising asphalt, and I started learning. And I was just subbing out the work to him. And another job that I get, I made $40,000, and the job gets done less than a week. And I was like, wow. So then I, come to the guy. I said, listen, why don't I get into partnership with you? Since I know how to sell, I know how to get the work, and you know how to get the work done.
Yeah.
So we get into, so I buy into the company, into the asphalt company. Actually, it's called One Stop Asphalt. That's the name that I came up with. And so during that time, I was involved in asphalt, and I hired somebody to manage my iron door company.
So you sure you don't have a twin, because it's like juggling 5 companies at once. It must have been many unsleeping nights.
Yes, it was.
The bugged out thing is what I love about entrepreneurs. One idea leads to another.
That's
one
what it
idea.
is. That's all.
leads
But
to another.
there's people who take the advantage. You have an open door, you open that door and you move forward. You
forward.
try it out.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to try. That's what it comes down to. And he's actually doing that. He's taking the moment and he's trying it. Even if he loses a few dollars, he understands. I've been there. I done that. That wasn't too successful. I even sold it. Next. You don't do well on the past. You keep moving forward.
Always got able to adjust in life.
Yes.
Okay. And with this asphalt, it was a very nice business. But unfortunately, me and my partner, we didn't see eye to eye. He was not a business guy. I told him, let's go after government jobs. Okay. Because government
That's what
jobs,
I'm gonna say.
you could literally make $1 million in a month and a half.
That's wild.
I'll tell you why. I also had a scaffolding company, and I got into it when I was about 20 years old. My first job was my own initial high school. So the criteria was in New York City at that time was that if you're making below $2 million a year, you don't have to be fully unionized.
Really?
Okay.
So once you reach the capacity over $2 million, so you as the GC, you're allowed to sub work. Me as a subcontractor, I'm supposed to come to you and price your job out. So as a GC, when you work for, while I'm telling this, I want to disagree with you, but I also want to agree with you because I'm seeing it from the subcontracting company. So what happens is that, where I'm getting at is that as a sub, it's much worse than it is for a general contractor, because when you're subbing a job, I don't have a bond. As a general contractor, you get a bond from the bank, and that gives you the capacity of the amount of work you're able to take on from the government, because you have to first able to cover that job. Once at completion or 80%, you're able to file and start receiving money from the government. I don't know how it is in Arizona. This is how it is in New York. So for a sub company, we don't get no bond. We have to fully sponsor the job, and then we get paid per completion of elevation. Is that the same way it is in Arizona?
So I wasn't trying to be like a sub for a GC. I was trying
You
to
were
get,
the-
I was
Direct.
I was trying to go direct
Okay.
because, we had, all the insurances that you could think
Yeah,
of.
but you
Because
need
at
the
the end of
money. You need to float the job site itself for the beginning. It's not like obviously asphalt is gonna cost you money, right?
No, but you know what? When with asphalt, they actually give you, 30 days, 60
okay.
days, to pay that. Especially, when you're dealing with the government, you show them it's a guarantee close because you're getting paid by the government. So
you
you
brought
you
that-
can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
So and at that time, I actually had I hired somebody to manage my iron door business, and I wasn't involved too much, and that guy was actually stealing from me. And I actually I almost closed my doors. I almost closed my doors. It was in 2018. In 2018, I decided to sell my portion to my partner for the asphalt and take over the iron door back. So I took it over in 2018, and I was a negative $300,000.
Wow.
We were selling the product, but he was stealing the money. He wasn't putting, in through the system, so he was doing things purposely. So in 2018, I had to actually fire half of the company because a lot of the people were his relatives. And so in 2018, I took over the company back into my own hands, and I fired half of the company. And the greatest thing that I did, I brought my wife in, okay, to make sure, because I'm not a computer guy, okay? I'm more into,
You're hands on.
Hands-on, huh?
I'm more hands-on. I go out, I meet people with contractors, so I'm not a guy who, processes checks or, goes on the
You
computer.
brought the calculator inside.
So I brought my wife in, and that's what everything changed for me. Okay,
Nice.
I brought her in.
Smart investment.
Yes. So, and my wife has a master's degree in social work, and she was doing real estate at that time. She was doing wonderful. I said, you know what, I need you in the business, and she came to help me and stuff. And I had one of my friends from Canada who flew in. At that time, I actually had a nervous breakdown because everything just kind of was falling on me. I was losing my business and stuff. And so I had a friend who came from Canada who helped me, to get back.
What, you moved them into Arizona?
No, because we were friends, and I said, my mother-in-law called him and said, hey, because he's an accountant, so he knows how to,
Oh, you had
get
somebody
into the.
come in and fix the books and everything.
Yeah, he came in, he flew in right away. He helped me with, with everything, what comes out to books and stuff, and then after that, I said, you know what, I gotta get everything into my own hands.
How long was the company running until you found out that somebody was stealing money? How long is the company operating already for?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah,
So you
because
saw
I
no
started-
profits, no nothing, didn't take no money home,
No.
just letting the company just develop itself.
I trusted this guy who
But
was
did he bring in the work, or from your asphalt company, you also threw work that way towards the door?
No, because asphalt is more for commercial. It
Okay.
wasn't, the iron door business is mainly residential.
Okay, so how did he
So-
get work?
So he was actually a marketing guy for another company prior, for AC company, one of the, large AC companies. So he knew how to do marketing.
Okay.
One thing he was doing, he was getting the work, but he was doing marketing where he was running a free installation.
Got it,
Right,
got it.
and you can't run free installation because sometimes the installation, it doesn't take just one day. It takes sometimes 3 visits. Some of the installs that we do, I have 6, 7 guys on the job because you do big reframes. You have to, and the iron doors is not, they're very heavy.
Yeah.
So some of the doors that we install weigh about 1,500 pounds, 2,000 pounds.
That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can run free installation, and he was doing it just to get the work, I guess, and
There was no way to interpret that into the cost of the door?
no, you can't do that. You have to do the installation separately, and, the doors.
No, what I'm talking about as of like, say, when you buy an iPhone right? You're not only buying the phone itself, you're buying the technology that was put into it when the company invested into the technology, right? The new cameras in it, that's interprets into the full cost of the phone,
Yeah.
right? So what I'm saying is that when you were making these doors or importing these doors, and he was marketing the free installation, that installation cost cannot be. He couldn't interpret it into the price of the door itself. Say,
Accessories sold separately, my friend.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Because
No, because every door is different. Okay, every size of the door, every
Correct.
installation is different.
Look,
Because
one-
some of the installs took us 1 day. If it's a trim installation, you take the old door out, you put a trim, it's 1 day. But some of the doors, when you have to reframe, there's a stucco involved, drywall involved, headers you have to change. You have to come back to do stucco, drywall,
I
and you
didn't
have
know it
to.
was that detailed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So an average installation, let's say $2,000. What he's talking about to do a 3-day job might be $10,000, just to give you an average.
yeah.
So you can't really include all that into one price of a door.
That's crazy. I didn't know it was that.
Everything is customized.
I'm gonna look at doors differently now. It's not only a hinge and.
Oh yeah.
So you took over the company again. You got it. Family, friends are helping out. What's the next step? How do you bring it up to be a profitable company?
Within 6 months, I changed everything around in the company. I start, I know also how to do marketing. I kind of see, very important to track everything you do. And we had like 20 different phone numbers, right? So I kind of seeing, okay, this marketing is working, let's push some money on this one. This one is not working, let's take this one out. So, and I was kind of, juggling with different marketings and stuff, and I picked up the business. And thank God, I was...
What made you special than everybody else? I'm sure you're not the only one on the market. What niche you found? Because
So what
the
I do...
reason I'm asking you is that, like we said in the beginning, everybody wants to be developer, but we have you on the show to make the younger generation understand that you don't have to be the full person who builds the house. You could do one specific thing and be great at it. So what was the niche that you found? I'm sure there's hundreds of companies that install doors or have what you do. What did you find that makes you different from everybody else in the market?
What makes me different is my service. I have close to 500 reviews right now with 4.9 stars. I always take care of the customers. 30% of our business is actual repeat customers.
Okay.
We do everything in-house, all the installations, from designing to install. And we don't sub anything out, because a lot of times what happens when you start subbing things out, a lot of things could go wrong.
Yeah.
And then, you at the end of the day, you have to go and fix it, As long as, those jobs that I lost money, okay, there was jobs that I actually had to replace some doors because there was a certain defective, and the customer was like shocked, like, wow, you're going to replace the whole door for me? I said, yes.
You fabricate the doors also, or they're all...
So I fabricate everything overseas.
Okay.
But I control for manufacturing. A lot of times what I do, I kind of, I see if something fails on the door, I replace it with a different.
Oh, so you
make sure-
modify the door to your standards because
Yes.
you've seen the flaw.
Yes. Because
Got it.
plus I used to install doors for other companies. So I knew kind of,
Yeah.
what to do right, what to do wrong. And
How long does it take, just out of curiosity, when I order a door from you and because it's manufactured overseas, what's the turnaround time
On an average door.
on an average door?
Well,
from
sometimes he has it in stock. An average door he has in
So
stock.
you
I
have
actually, in the last 10 years, I was able to become one of the largest iron door companies in the United States. I have close to 1,000 doors in stock.
How many square feet is your place? now?
So you have a specific. Okay. So,
There is different sizes, right? There's certain
No.
sizes that kind of fits,
let me understand this. I'm sorry. So you have a catalog of a standard size or design, like
Standard size doors and different designs.
Of course.
so yeah. But what I'm trying to understand is that when I come to you as a client, first you show me a catalog of the doors you already have in stock. Then as a client, if I say I want something custom made, that's already a different side of your business, right? But you have standard doors that are already specifically made to your trimming, first you try to sell me that, correct?
Yes. I have stock. It's to be honest with you, there's no difference in pricing with us. whether you order from stock or you order custom.
It's just
The
turn
only
them
thing
on
with
time.
custom, you have to wait.
Okay.
So
All right.
waiting is, on a custom door, I would say about 12 to 15 weeks.
Okay. Okay.
So it's not too bad. But you could choose the color that you want, the glass that you want, the
or
handles.
I just pick whatever you have to offer me now.
Yes, or
Okay.
something from stock.
Okay.
And to answer Boris' question is that our showroom right now is 60,000 square feet.
That's crazy.
So
60,000 square feet showroom. That's insane.
How many doors is that? How many doors? How many different
Selections?
do you have?
So what we actually did about the last 2 years, we were able to actually start making aluminum doors as well. So we don't just do iron. We do aluminum sliding doors, bifold doors, pocket
Okay, like
doors.
what is it, Anderson or something like that? Like Anderson.
So what actually we're doing right now, we actually going to be going nationwide, and I'm coming up with my own brand, very similar to like Anderson,
Yeah.
Pella, just to take small market share.
Yeah.
Okay, and which our doors are, aluminum thermal break doors, and we make something different, something unique.
Okay.
Is that our screens are metal; they're not mesh.
Oh,
Because
okay.
when you open that door, right?
Yeah.
Sliding door, even iron door, like glass opens up. We have a metal screen inside. It's magnetic.
Yeah.
Okay, on the iron door, where you could able to open the glass, get some fresh air, and you don't have to have a security door in front of it. This
Okay.
is actually one door. The smallest door weighs about 310 pounds, so they're very heavy duty doors.
Damn.
And with aluminum doors, it's the same thing. We have a metal screen. Metal screen. That's something that a lot of people they're like, wow, how do you guys make it? I actually made my own mold.
Oh, nice. So
the-
you
for the-
designed it and
Yes, from the engineering end.
Yeah, yeah.
So I start from scratch, where basically I want to have my own brand, and to make sure that always want to do something different. And that's the beauty of it. You could make it be a little different from your competition. I love competition. You know why? Because if there's competition, that means there's business.
Business.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So any big I'm not too familiar with Arizona, but any big developers that you work with that strictly you're exclusive to, or you provide a certain amount of doors a year to them, anything like that in your business?
Yes, I deal with a lot of custom home builders that build houses in Paradise Valley for $5, $10, $15 million.
Wow.
And I also do business with track homes as well.
Okay.
They built about 100, 150, 200 homes
A year.
And they're strictly you have an exclusivity with them.
Yes, honestly, some of the builders that I've been doing business with for the last 8 years, until this day, they do business with us. The reason why is because we stand behind our product, and if something goes wrong, if something is not right, they give us a call. We are right there.
So you have a service team.
Yes, we have about close to 60 guys. So all they have to do is just make a phone call. We set up a work order, and we're right there.
How hands-on are you with the clients that come into your showroom? Are you you have sales rep, or are you the type of owner that you like to make sure every project goes through you, every order goes through you? How dedicated are you, or what's your style of
No, we do have sales guys. Obviously, the size company that we are right now, there's no way I could able to handle myself.
Okay.
In this life, you have to able to dedicate, because if you can't dedicate, you can't scale.
Correct.
Okay, I do have my own contractors that I work with myself personally, my own clientele that kind of call me directly, but I do have sales guys that take it. We have actually 4 showrooms in Arizona.
Wow.
So we kind of handle the whole part of Arizona. And hopefully in January, we're going to start launching, going on a nationwide scale. We're not going to go nationwide right away from all over the 50 states. We're going to take about 3-4 states at a time to make sure that...
And you're gonna sub the installation to other companies?
No, actually what we're doing, we're going to be going B2B. We're going to go on a wholesale level. So basically, let's say you have a store, right? And
Okay.
you sell different type of doors, different
Okay.
type of materials. I come up to you, I say, hey, do you want to put another product? And we give you a wholesale pricing where we just, sell it to you, and you just, do your
sell
own
it.
installs.
Oh, okay.
Which actually we're going to be training every business that we sell to. We're going to be training them on how
Yeah.
to do installations, how to
It's
do...
because your doors are custom made, so there has to be a specific way to install these doors.
Not necessarily, as long as you in construction, for the most
The
part.
average person would be able to understand, but obviously there's certain tricks
Yeah,
that
there's certain ways, sometimes if the door doesn't open right, that means it's not plumbed, so there's certain techniques, there are certain ways that you could, that you have to do to make sure that the door
to
gets
enhance it.
properly installed. It's
Where
very
where are you
important.
planning to get the product from? Now with all these tariffs going on, is this going to be a full U.S. based company, or are you going overseas?
No, I've been working with China for the last 10 years, and I control the manufacturing there. I travel there every year. I'm hands-on. And like I told you earlier, that I kind of, I changed a lot of things on the doors. From
Yeah.
when I started until now, I made a lot of changes to make sure that the door is gonna last. And it's very important to me, the customer service. And a lot of times, like I told you, people purchase a door when they move houses, they call us back.
You're in a state that's very I don't know if I want to say liberal or very pro Trump, and they're all into American based companies. Do you feel that there's a risk of you losing potential clientele that if you're going to bring product from overseas, or
You know what? Very few that clients that concerned about that, because at the end of the day, it's all about the company. It's all about a lot of times, a lot of our customers, they read reviews about us, right? And when looking at the reviews, close to 500 reviews and being 4.9 stars, it's no brainer. They could see it.
Correct.
The customers actually posting pictures of our doors, and they love our service and stuff. It's very important to stand behind. And like I said, if we have 30% customers that are actually coming back to us, that means we're doing something right.
something right, yeah.
Yeah. It's all about giving that special touch. It's all about customer service. At the end of the day, if you don't have a good customer service, it doesn't matter what kind of business you have. You're never going to be
a
successful.
lot of the companies are a lot of the companies that are just I don't know how to put it. They're do it one time and right, and they try to get as less recalls. I don't know if I'm questioning the. You know what I mean? Like when you come into it with you dealing with Anderson, right? They come, they install, and they hope the client never calls back. Do you pride in having this quality service, or like we spoke about? You're telling me that your repeat clients are coming back to you, but is it because you're installing the door right, or is it because after you installing the door and the quality customer service you give them throughout? Like, do you give a warranty, and within 5 years something happens, you're always there? Like, how what's your
Yeah, we give a warranty. Obviously, we give actually a lifetime structural warranty.
what does
Okay,
that mean?
that means that the door is going to function for the rest of your life.
So within the whole time that I have the house, I'm always able to always call you with
Yes.
zero cost. You're coming, you're fixing the door, or how?
Yes. Let's say, for example, after 3 years, let's say you can open your door, or the door is, making some kind of noise. You give us a call, and we are right there, gonna fix it, no extra charge.
Wow, that's crazy customer service and warranty.
That's pretty hot. That's pretty nice.
After a storm, after everything, you come to you. We call you. Like, listen, the door. And Arizona, the heat must be crazy. Any effect on on the product itself because of that? Because I know like a lot of the houses there have moisture, this, that.
That's what beauty about these doors. It's iron doors. A lot of times with wood doors, they start warping,
Okay.
especially with the humidity and stuff, with the rain, and then hot and cold and stuff, and then the door starts warping, and it starts opening up because it starts coming off the hinges
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
a little bit. And with iron door, that's a 12 gauge steel door, solid.
Any
it's
any
not
other
hollow.
any other states you have done work in yet before you're gonna take the company national to get the experience how it's going to be?
So we actually shipped already before to about 40 different states.
Oh wow.
That's because in Arizona there was a lot of relatives. They come to Arizona and they're like, "Hey, who installed your door?" And they're like, "Oh, Iron Doors Arizona." And then they go back and then they call us. Hey, how did you hear about us? Oh, we've been to our friend's house in Arizona and we really like your door. Is there any way you could be able to ship it to us? And
So you do have the experience already being national.
yes, yes. The only thing is just a little difficult. It's regarding the shipping, okay? Because it's very important. Because a lot of times when you ship the door across country, from let's say from Arizona to New York, So when the trucker comes to pick up the door, takes it to another.
Drop-off facility.
Yes, and then it transfers to another truck. Then the door goes and let's say in Texas gets transferred to another truck. Every time you move that door has a
Wow.
higher chance of getting damaged.
Is it smarter to own that kind of a truck that actually travels nationwide? The doors are like, let's say 20 doors. He's going from California to, I don't know, Chicago, and then little by little drops off the doors throughout the whole week or
Or you
two.
didn't figure out that logistics.
So that's the reason why when I'm talking about nationwide, like I told you earlier, the
Open like
one that-
warehouse.
we're gonna do about 3-4 states at a time.
The closest states to Arizona?
For now, to kind of
Get the feeling.
yeah. So when we're gonna hit one state, right? So we're gonna hit one state, and let's say get 20 dealers, right? So this way, when we ship doors to, let's say, Las Vegas, right? We have a dedicated truck that
So you-
only takes our doors,
To Las
so
Vegas.
they don't move anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, they are right. They're gonna be in the truck until
So
it arrives
basically,
to.
from what I understand, is that you're gonna conquer the closest 3 states, put a warehouse in one of them, and then reach out to the other 3 states, put a warehouse down
Correct.
the corner.
Not to open the warehouse, but basically hire a dedicated truck that will
Oh,
Truck
direct.
driver.
directly where the truck is only going to one state, going with my doors, not stopping anywhere. The doors are not moving.
And has a forklift that takes it out
So no,
also.
because we're dealing with a B2B, so every business that we're dealing with, they have to have a forklift to be able to unload the doors.
Makes sense.
Another question: when you're gonna get these dealers that, like with a lot of the other brands, right, like Anderson and all those other brands, when they're gonna be selling your doors, are they gonna be required to purchase certain amount of doors for you to keep in stock, or is it order to purchase? Say like I'm a dealer, I have
You can order like a door at a time.
yeah. Is it
Yeah, just one door at a time. You don't have to purchase so
okay.
many doors to get a kind of special deal. No.
But obviously, if you get more doors, the deal will be on the table to get a special deal.
So I'm working on something where if you purchase so many doors a year, right, you're gonna get a special rebate at the end.
okay?
So
So
this
they'll
way,
be able to push your doors
As much as possible. That makes-
aggressively
Yes.
more than other. Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
that's the quality of the
I think
doors.
that's a very smart marketing
Tactic.
tactic.
Yeah, the things we're gonna be doing a little differently than from everybody else.
Well, this is what I think makes a successful entrepreneur when he thinks outside the box.
definitely. And I always tell everybody, school not for everybody.
100%. I believe in that as
if
well.
you find that niche, or going into a service industry, any type of service industry, and find that niche that you're really good at, and you just have to kind of believe in yourself. That's very important. Is believing in yourself and moving forward. Don't ever give up. And I'm not really into. I'm not that great with vocabulary. I can't really write a nice email without making a mistake. Okay.
All successful men could always hire somebody to be a poet.
Correct.
So I don't think this should be your biggest problem.
Exactly. That's why I tell everybody, is that you just have to be passionate on what you do, and you have to stand behind it. Behind whatever you do, if you giving 110% and you have a customer service behind it, you're always going to be successful.
How did you end up coming up with an idea to? I know you told me with experience you're changing certain things. I know majority of the people who are in construction or in any aspect of this business, was this always your end plan to develop something different from everybody else? Because you had a lot of different businesses, but you ended up getting selecting the Iron Dose because they brought you the money success. But you could have just stopped at that. When did you realize that you could do it better than other companies by creating the different hinge or creating the different screen protector that you were talking about? When did that idea come? Was that always the end goal? Was that always your idea to be, or is this because you're passionate about your business?
Good question. So the reason why I kind of always work on a product is because we do installation. Okay, so we give warranty. So if a customer calls, hey, our door is not opening right, you know what I mean? So there was a ball bearing that we used to use different, that I used to, out of 200 doors, we had a couple of them failed, right? And right away, I started looking into it. Okay, I'm like, you know what? We have to change that.
Because it's a
So
cost to him. Because that's a
exactly, every
lifetime
phone
work.
call that the customer calls us, it's a cost to us. So that's after that, because of the installation that we do in house, we're able to identify the
The situation,
problems.
though.
Okay, and then I start adjusting them. Now we have to close. Next year actually is going to be 10 years since we've been in business. So now I feel like, you know what, we've done everything with the doors. Now we are confident to go on a national level.
Are you patenting any of these technologies that you're developing? Like, say, with you're saying that everybody uses the mesh, but you're going to be using the stainless mesh. Are you, because you developed that, or it's an existing development that you are improving on? Are you going to be planning to patent any of these?
No, some of the things you can't really patent. So it's all about having your own brand and kind of.
Yeah, but it puts you at risk of other companies copying your style. No, Did you look into that, or is it just not worth the money or the effort to
It's
patent?
not really worth it. At the end of the day, if you provide great customer service, people will always come back to you. And the same thing with we're going to be going after businesses. They're going to come back to you as long as you have that relationship. That to make sure that you always take care of them, making sure that if something fails, you send them the part or whatever it is. They're never going to. I have the contractors that I have in Arizona that still use us till this day, and some of them been with us for like 8-9 years.
Yeah, but you're developing something new now. You're not worried about of. There's always a man with more money, with more power that'll be able to copy your product and sell it for cheaper because he's willing to take a risk to order a much more massive amount than you are. Isn't it a smarter way for you to patent certain things that you develop? Say, like you told me that right now that you developed a separate hinge for the door.
Mhm.
That gives you the opportunity to patent that, where you're the only exclusive company that able to use that hinge, and nobody's able to to cap off that market.
Unfortunately, construction, it's very difficult to patent certain stuff.
You look
Yeah.
into that already?
Yeah, I looked into so many different things. The only thing you could patent is the name, right?
Oh,
To
okay.
make sure somebody's not using the name. And it's all about, at the end of the day, it's not that easy to start a business, to patent stuff, to patent
It's a
stuff. And
process.
it's a big process. And to able to get a showroom like we have and to able to get this much inventory, it's not that easy. It requires, a lot of money to keep that in stock, and to make sure that, every size, we pretty much have every size you could think of.
What do you recommend to the younger generation who are, because the new developers now are under 40 years old,
Hmm.
that are trying to, and a lot of them are successful and a lot of them fail because they're trying to build from A to Z.
Hmm.
What do you recommend the younger generation to do, to continue being the full developer, or look into doing a certain specific
Niche.
part in the developing and corner that you're understanding the question, like you saw the opportunity in the doors, and you say, you know what, I'm not gonna do anything else. I've tried the cleaning, I've tried this. I want to take this business of it and maximize the profits and be the best I could be. What is your opinion on suggesting these new developers who are failing or who are being successful that this is not the end goal, that you could possibly to take a niche like you said and concentrate on that? Is there a future in that, or
So this is my opinion about, not everybody knows how to open up a business, right? Not everybody knows how to manage. And I'll always tell, what, if you not that good in school, go into some kind of construction field. You will always make money. Whether it's a framer, whether it's, a tile setter, whether it's HVAC, anything to do with the service industry, as long as you know the work, because at the end of the day, guess what? People gonna always remodel homes, right?
hmm
The construction would never go away, never. And you could always make good money.
and you could start off as being a worker and potentially open
Of
up your
course.
company if you're
Exactly. You could open your own company. You don't have to have like, 30, 40 guys, right? You could open up a company with 2, 3 guys and make good living. So as long as you know the industry, you just got to dive into it and just kind of see what the person is really good at, But, I always tell everybody that if you give 110% effort, there's no reason why you shouldn't fail. You should
Agree.
fail at all.
I have a question. Let's say you're going to be doing the B2B, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that means that the contractors, the developers, whoever it is, they're going to be installing the doors, correct?
Yes.
Not your people.
No.
So how do you guarantee? Because you give a warranty. There's no lifetime warranty there already, right? When
No. Basically, that company have to give a warranty.
they
now.
have to provide
Yes,
a warranty.
for the
okay.
install. But if something with the door,
Correct.
then we provide the warranty.
Uh-huh.
But we're gonna give all the tools necessary for that company to make sure that we're gonna have videos in place. We're gonna have we're actually building right now a special place in our showroom where we're gonna able to educate people. Have them fly out to Arizona
Nice. That would be
to
smart.
actually show them, be hands-on to certain things, how to install, how if the door is not opening up, what you should do in this case, what you should do in this case. So we're gonna be doing training. We're also going to be providing in the back office. We're going to provide the small short videos of in any situation because we've been we've been in every situation you could think of.
Very cool aspect of market that you're gonna provide videos.
Yeah, that is
And
the way,
then,
100%.
but how are you gonna protect yourself? Say I'm a dealer. I ordered a door from you. Now my guys made a mistake. Now your door came perfectly fine. I'm just thinking of it as a
Correct.
not as a scammer, but as a person who potentially made a mistake with your door, and then I have to take that risk. Say I'm a store. I'm providing your door. I ordered it. How are you gonna ensure that I received your product at your highest standard, and I'm not gonna call you back because I messed up. I messed up with your door, and I'm gonna call you say, listen, Steve, your door didn't come in the right way. When they receive the door, are the drivers gonna take pictures, analyze the door before you hand it off to a store? You understand my question? Like I'm trying to say that in order for you not to get scammed by a dealer like me, because anything could possibly go wrong by me installing it. Now,
Okay, how many times they're going to do that? Okay, one time they do that.
Listen, if he's gonna sell a door for a custom door from somebody, a dealer like me, I'm gonna come into a dealer. You own a store. I said, wow, I love your doors. I'm gonna order these 2 doors for the side, which is a standard order. But do you do custom doors? They're gonna say yes. Now he might refer to Steve and say, Steve, I want this custom door. Now the door came. While they're installing it, the workers damaged the door. Now, me as the dealer, I don't want to take that risk. I'm trying to get my money out of Steve.
You're going to
Say,
pass the
"Steve,
buck.
You're gonna pass it to him. How are you gonna ensure that that your doors came at the highest quality to me, and that it's my fault now? What happened?
So when the door gets manufactured,
Okay.
I have a system in place where all the pictures are being taken.
This is what I know.
So-
This is what I want to know.
So
how
yeah,
he's
we
protecting himself.
we take all the pictures when it first gets manufactured. So if the dealer says, hey, you had this kind of problem, and I pull it up, I say, hey, here's the picture of the door.
This
When
wasn't there.
It was not there.
Okay, this is.
Yeah, and
I just want to know: did he already, did he already think of every
That process.
possible?
yeah, yes.
Every
No,
possible-
of course we did. It's about it's. At the end of the day, it's about building the relationship. If
Yeah, but
somebody's
these
trying
re-
to scam me once or
Steve,
twice,
the-
we're
the-
gonna cut them off because at the end of the day,
That's what I want.
we're not struggling for business, right? Right now, we're installing about 150 to 200 doors a month in Arizona alone.
That's insane.
So we're doing a lot of installations.
Have you been to any contractor shows? Did you go to a lot of shows? Meaning, like, be part of the exhibit?
So we've done a lot of home shows
Yeah.
in Arizona, and then at the end we kind of stopped because we weren't getting any
Traction.
business, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody already knew us. In Arizona, we're pretty well known. When sometimes I go to the bank and like, I know Arizona. I'm like, oh my God, my sister just installed a door with you. So
Okay.
it's like
And what about the other states? Are you going to be doing any trade shows in the construction? And they have once a year.
So,
how are
yeah.
you going to expose yourself here?
So we are going to be planning in the future doing some IBS show, International Business Show. It's more for contractors.
Are you gonna be? You planning to do this on your designs? The one you're gonna like you tell me, the doors that you're making and all this, or you're gonna bring other brands into, like, I'm sure you're importing doors, but not all of them are under your name brand, correct?
No, everything is under our brand.
So you're gonna market everything under your brand.
Correct. Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Is it worth doing these shows? These IBS, is it worth it? Like, how much business do you actually get from it? There's thousands of them there. Not just doors, but like all types of contractors. Obviously, there's doors, but is it worth it?
Of course, if it wasn't worth it, they wouldn't do they wouldn't do those shows. And
How much do you spend on an average show? Like at least 50. You with the doors, how many doors are you going to
it
bring in
depends
there?
depends on the size, right?
Correct.
So and then you have to obviously bring it there, put
That's
it up
what I'm
together.
saying.
So you're looking about, I would say, I don't know, about $30,000.
Really?
How
That's
many
it?
doors
I
are
thought it was
you?
much more than that.
How many doors are you gonna be marketing at these shows?
It's all about kind of getting one door of each,
So you-
Style, size.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I would say about maybe 3-4 doors.
That's it, and you
Yeah.
have to spend 30 grand on that.
Oh yeah, you have to bring it there. You have to put it together.
You
You know
actually
what I
pay
mean?
for the booth also.
The booth, yeah. It's not cheap.
10 by 10,
What's the
10
end
by
goal?
20.
Do you want? Is your end goal to stay? I don't want to say family owned, but is the end goal to have your product in Home Depot, in Lowe's? What's the end goal of this? You are expanding.
So our end goal is, because our product it's not for Home Depot, because our product is not like like a cheaper quality style. It's more higher end.
Okay, but you have
So
Lowe's
it's-
for that, which is you have different. So you have Home Depot, you have Lowe's, and Lowe's is kind of considered to be the more higher end of Home Depot, correct?
Yes.
Their quality is much better. They're more expensive. So is there an angle? Is that your big dream to have your product and be one of these massive agglomerate?
Not necessarily. Not
No?
necessarily. No, it's all about having a lot of dealers. Let's say my end goal is to have 500 stores, right? If 500 stores purchase
500
two doors a month, that's 1,000 doors. So
Okay, so your meaning having 500 stores is meaning having local dealers that deal with your specific brand, your specific product, or
Yes.
having like your own showrooms.
no,
No.
His product.
Yeah,
Is the product.
just our product. We just want to supply the product. That's it. It's all about the quantity.
Volume.
And exactly.
But the manufacturer, your manufacturer will be able to
Meet that standard.
meet those standards?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Nice.
It's very important. Whatever you do, if you're importing stuff, very important to able to have a hands-on from manufacturing end.
Have you ever looked into India besides China and stuff like that, or you strictly always had the relationship with China?
I started with China, originally, and I actually looked into it. I could put my doors against any companies that even make them here, and nobody's going to
No,
show me
because
that the doors is better than mine. And because in China, you could make the same product 3 different ways. It's all about how much you pay for it. You know what I
Correct.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's all about the components that you use on it. But since I have I have full control over that, because I invested money in China a long time ago, and I travel there every single year. So I have a full control of everything that I use on the doors. So they're not making the same doors for others. So it costs extra money, but I rather spend extra money right now than having a bad review tomorrow that is going to cost me hundreds of thousands.
The reason I ask is when I got big enough to take multiple jobs on, I used to buy the scaffolding in New York from a sub dealer. There's that, but I realized that and also at that time the trend in the United States was that they were trying to cut off massive amount of imports from China, and they started importing from India.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up staying in India for about a month. I brought my own scaffolding in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only difference is that the steel and all that quality of steel is all the same. The only difference is that when you import something in that specific field in scaffolding, each country has its own designated color. So China's steel would be blue.
Mhm.
India's steel will be red.
Gotcha.
But I
Just the
s-
finish of it, right?
The finish of it,
Okay.
yes. That way it's just the product.
Differentiate.
Yeah, where it comes from, just on the contracts.
But you
but-
could always, you could always, color match, right? If
So what I did was I saw that I'm gonna save myself. I took a job in the Bronx that as a subcontractor I signed a deal with a GC for $2.2 million, which was my biggest deal ever. And this was with a handshake, a big company. But I saw that I could save myself close to $400,000 from importing from India. And I went there. I stayed there for a month. I slept on a boat next to the manufacturer to make sure that everything happens. Plus, it took me 3 months to bring the product here. Uh, you understand? But I was starting the job in August. I started in November doing all this. But I saved myself money. Is it something that I understand? You told me that you started with the company in China, but you never looked into just securing yourself just in case of whatever happens with the tariffs, to go to another country, bring them the prototype and everything, and see if they're able to meet you with that standard with a cheaper price, so you could be even more aggressive here when it comes down to the pricing of your doors.
So I looked into that, and obviously you're right. Tariffs, it is playing a big role, but hopefully, things will change, right? I looked into Turkey. I looked into Mexico. It's just the way they make their doors are not the same.
Really?
You could see the weld joints.
Okay.
I could just by the picture you could see it without even looking at it, in person. So because China has perfected the iron doors, they actually, I actually met a person. One of my first factories actually, they were one of the first factories that started exporting from China to United States 30 plus years ago. Okay. So they were able to kind of, in the last 30 plus years, they were able to perfect that. Okay. To start kind of the process from another country is just difficult because, there's certain ways that you advertising, right? Your doors. Why we're different, what's different about our door versus other doors and stuff. So it'd be a very difficult process to actually, I never went to India for that, but I looked into it. It's just, I just didn't see, hopefully, the tariffs, is going to come down, everything is going to get back to normal, but I just rather make less. But I just rather have a quality.
Sleep at
My
night.
quality is very important. I want to make sure that I sleep good at night.
How are you gonna work it out when it comes down you working with the dealers? Why should I go to a dealer if I could call you directly? Like, meaning price wise, are you gonna be the same price as if I would go to a dealer or go directly to you? Like, you know what I mean? Like when
Is there going to be a standard price across the board, basically?
yeah, like is
From,
my
if
do-
they call directly from you, I'm sorry, or if they call to the
doors by us?
So obviously, at the end of the day, there is different companies, right, that have different type of programs, and at the end of the day, a lot of times people think, hey, iron door, they're all the same. They're not the same. Okay, they look the same at the beginning, but guess what? After 1 year, the paint could be coming off. This could
No,
be,
I didn't. I don't think you understood the question.
price wise. Let's say
Price-wise.
you're going to give it to B2B. Let's say selling it in New York, in Chicago, in Vegas, and the price, because you're going to have your name there, Iron Doors Arizona, let's say. Your brand is going to be everywhere. Why can't I call you directly? And if I do, is the price going to be different from the guy in Vegas?
Oh, you're talking about like calling us versus no. The thing is, it's going to be a separate entity that's going to be dealing with dealers only. Iron Doors Arizona will not going to be shipping the doors.
So it's going to be a different
company
brand.
name. It's just going to be it's going to be called Euro Aluminum Products, and it's only going to be working B2B, and they're not going to. Every dealer is going to have the same price, dealer price, but it depends. Let's say, for example,
Suggested retail value, they're going to say.
suggested retail value and what kind of price is off the retail. And plus, on top of that, it depends how much you purchase. Remember earlier you asked me, if it's going to be cheaper if somebody purchases. Of course, in 1 year, let's say if somebody does $500,000 business with us versus $30,000, they're going to get a rebate. They're going to get special
But
rebates.
the
on
price
top of
will
that.
be the same when it comes to the product itself. Like,
Yes, B2B is going to be the same wholesale price.
okay.
How did tariffs affect you? And what do I mean by that? Let's say, obviously, the whole tariff situation just recently started going up, and you had a client of, I'm sure, a bunch of clients who ordered a door, but you priced them out
That's
Tell
a
me
good
that,
question. Yeah, so it actually,
it happened, I'm sure.
yes, it happened. Yeah, the
So now you're
tariffs
gonna have to
actually
honor.
used to. Yes, I honored always. You have a contract. You have a size company like ours. We can't, say, hey, I'm sorry.
So you're gonna
You
take
have
a
to.
loss?
Yes, we kind of, because the tariffs, what happened at one point went from 25% to 94%.
That's insane.
Yeah, yeah. That whole 2 week, 3 week period, right?
That's-
Or
Yes,
where he
it just
tried.
went up and up and
So
up. It's like
okay, let's say from 20. What's the tariff cost from 25% to 94%? Well, how does the price? What does the price look like? Just on the tariff, not the price of the door.
so. Obviously, the difference is close over 70%, right? Like close to 70% is of the 69% of the doors. So some of the doors actually, we went into negative.
Wow.
But at the end of the day, I had to,
Honor it.
honor the pricing. And then, obviously we had to raise the pricing by slightly. So our profit margin not the same, but for me it's all about the volume. It's about, pushing the doors and stuff. We can get, we can raise the door price where we're not going to sell that many doors, It's all about the
People
volume pushing the doors and stuff. So but I think hopefully, now actually, they decreased the tariffs, not that much, by 10%. So instead of 94%, it's 84%.
So how are you gonna move on in the future? What's the plan? That's why I was asking you.
The plan is to go about B2B, go in a volume. It's all about it's all about
Shipping,
instead of selling 200 doors, sell $1,000 a month, $1,500
You
a
don't
month.
think that's risky?
No, you make less, but it's if you push the volume at the end, you still come ahead.
So, what's the end goal? You're gonna move to New York first. You're gonna shop your company around to all the dealers, or you're gonna first just open up and then take it like that, like because you already have a successful
Showroom.
showroom in Arizona. Are you planning to first bring this brand here and ship to them from Arizona, and
No.
then?
So actually, I'm looking into the showroom right now in New York, and my goal is to open the showroom here because
Before you're gonna start doing all this
B2B.
B2B.
no, the B2B is going to start from Arizona, okay, but by next year, hopefully, I want to open a showroom here because so this way I could provide the doors to locally. Into New Yorkers, Boston, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, all the states around.
Correct.
it.
Correct. Which makes
And it's
sense.
all about, having a showroom, and honestly, I did my, research. There was not that many competitors in New York. I will
insane.
crush them. In Arizona, there was actually more iron door companies, than in New York.
But there's more housing there, no? Like,
Yeah.
Why? If he makes, he doesn't have to make standard. He doesn't have to make custom iron doors all the time. If you have 90% of the older projects, New York City projects, all have steel doors in their buildings.
No, it's not for buildings.
not
It's
for
more
buildings. It's for houses.
No, but he said he's gonna make the cheaper doors as well. Correct?
Not out of iron, no.
Not
Oh,
iron.
right. Okay, got it.
Iron, no.
I just-
it's not for buildings. It's all for houses. You're right, Boris. In
Why, I
Arizona
see.
they build a lot of houses.
Correct.
So in New
When
York, it's
when I used to do deliveries, for a business that I used to own, I used to go in the Bronx, and they would have double doors where they'll have the regular door in the projects, and inside they would install another. I don't know if it's iron or stainless steel.
security door. So they have in Arizona, they have a wood door, and then they have a
Yeah,
security
those
door.
are
Correct,
iron
correct.
doors. No,
No,
what are those? Stainless steel?
no, they are basically they
Like
make-
railing doors in front of
Yeah,
you.
but what kind of metal is that?
So iron. So there's different gauges, right? So they made those ones are made out of 18 to 20 gauge steel, okay, which is very lighter steel. Iron made out of 12 gauge. So the lower the number goes in iron, the heavier it is.
Okay.
So those are security doors. They're not like that's what our doors. They replace the security door and your main entry door, so
Oh.
it acts like both.
Both. Got
Yes.
it. Okay. Okay.
I tell you, when I
No,
was
because I used to do deliveries, they used to open the door. What you want? and then I had to slip the delivery bag in between the. I swear, I always thought those were iron doors. Like, I mean, they look
They
like they're
are
metal,
iron, but
so
different
it's
gauge.
Yeah.
Now that I know that the higher the gauge, the lower the quality it is. I didn't know that. You see,
Yeah.
we learned something new.
It's lighter. You know, what I mean,
lighter.
the steel is lighter.
But I tell you, when I was in Arizona, I went to his showroom. I was
Impressed.
so impressed, like on another level. Not only that he has a showroom, he has a whole factory, obviously, with tons of doors already ready to rock and roll. He had guys fine tuning the doors before it goes out to the customer, like so make sure in house everything is ready
Listen,
to
it's
prepared. It's a big operation.
It's not easy to be.
It's a huge. How many trucks you have there? Yo, how big is your? The warehouse is 60,000 square feet, right? The whole warehouse.
Yeah.
He has like probably I don't know, like 80 or 100 car parking garage there also. It's
Yeah, we
insane.
have about 100 parking spaces.
100 parking spaces.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's huge.
And,
It's like a Home Depot.
Yes,
believe it.
pretty much it's like a Home Depot.
It's insane.
Luckily, I was able to acquire that building in the middle of pandemic.
Oh, nice.
I made a lot of great moves in the middle of pandemic. A lot of people, they were scared, but the interest rate at that time was free.
Yeah,
Well,
I-
2.5%, 3%.
Are you
That's
kidding
a free
me?
interest.
Yes, I
And I
agree.
told everybody, I said, make your moves right now. It's not gonna happen again ever.
I believe you.
So, and I was able to get that building, and because I see the growth, and I needed bigger space, and thank God, we're able to get into the building, and then I did a major renovation, and we spent like over $1 million just on the renovation. So when people pull up to our showroom, it's like in Paradise Valley. It's like very nice. All the iron gates around.
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
Spacious. You
Very
I
spacious.
believe. Listen, it's a big. If he's installing 100, 200 doors a month, this has to be a big operation. It's not mom and pop situation.
100%. Very nice.
Definitely. And a lot of people, when they look for any door companies, they look online and they look at reviews. It's very important.
Absolutely.
And so, we make sure that.
So when is the plan? When is the plan to move to New York?
He already moved to New York.
No, meaning
the company.
company wise.
So right now, I'm actually talking to one guy right now regarding the building, regarding the showroom. So hopefully,
Negotiating, basically.
in New York, what I notice, it's very difficult with permits here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything is
To
difficult
do
here.
anything construction wise.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a
I thought
situation.
Arizona was difficult. I was like, no way. I'm trying to renovate my basement in my house. Right. It's taking so long. It's just unbelievable. In Arizona, anything you do inside the house, you pretty much get it done with no permits. Over here,
But you're in Long Island. It's a little different. I mean, here in Queens, you'll be able to get away with it.
How do you feel about moving back to New York?
I love it. The reason why we moved to New York because of our family and stuff. I have 5 kids,
Oh wow,
and I have 3 boys, and recently I had twin girls.
nice.
So they're a year and a half, and my mom was a twin. So it's made her day. So now I just want to spend more time with the family and stuff. Yes, I travel to Arizona still. Obviously because of the business, I have to. Twice a month. I kind of half time here, half time there.
Who's running the company now?
I have a very, very great team that I could rely on, I could trust, that they're doing a phenomenal job.
Do you feel, since you were fucked over before and you were almost closing a negative at 300, you don't have that worry that this might happen again?
No, this time I think, I found the right team that, right now I obviously went through a lot of different people in my past life, but I think this time, we finally found, the people that, that want to grow with the company and basically.
No partners, right?
Mm,
No partners, right?
No, just basically the team that we have right now that we're looking for people who want to basically retire with us because I'm never going to sell the company.
Okay.
So we just
Never say never. For the right price, you sell. Mr. Steve, thank you very much for being here,
Thank you.
coming out and sharing your whole life experience, I would say, and that the struggle is definitely real. And I think for all the listeners out there, I think if you put your mind to something, you can definitely
Accomplish it.
accomplish it as long as you give 110%.